Hello, my name is Alyssa Brown, and this is how to crochet an overnight curler. Here on my channel, I will be doing crochet patterns, macrame. We will be doing home DIY, organization, all of that type of stuff that I truly have a passion for. I really love to do. If that's the kind of stuff you're into, hit that subscribe button. Hold with your thumb and your fourth finger, wrap around once, twice, making an X. Place the running yarn in between your thumb and your fourth finger. Take your crochet hook, go under the first, grab the second, twist, grab onto that second again, pull through that loop that you had made. To tighten the magic circle, you're going to just pull on this end yarn. Okay, we are going to be doing some single crochets. We'll be doing 6 inside of our magic circle. So we're going to insert our crochet hook, you yarn over that crochet. That's when you're grabbing the yarn, that's called the yarn over. Okay, so when you're grabbing the yarn, this yarn over, you should have 2 loops on your crochet hook. Yarn over again and pull through those 2 loops. Okay, tighten up our circle just a bit so it's easier. So again, inside the magic circle, yarn over, you should have 2 loops, yarn over again, pull through both loops. Now you should have 2. To be able to tell where our stitches are, it's going to be a little bit difficult if you're a beginner. So the only way I could explain it is you should see a V. You should see 2 loops side by side each other, 2 loops side by side, and that is going to be your stitch. In the front, you should just be able to see that there's 1 loop, 2 loops. 1 loop, 2 loops. Okay, so it's finished. We got 4 more single crochets to do. If at any time you need to pause, go ahead and do so. That way you don't feel like you're feeling rushed or falling behind. 5 and 6. Always count your stitches to make sure that you are on the right track. Now you're going to pull this tight. Pull the end string tight, okay? I like to hold it with my thumb and my index to make it easier so that I feel like it's not ripping. For this one, we will be doing 2 single crochets in every stitch of the round. Okay, so, and also just so you know, usually people, when they're doing rounds, they will do a joiner, which is basically a slip stitch from the end to the beginning. I do not do that when I'm working with amigurumi or when I'm doing rounds, because I don't like how the finished projects look like they have a line. You can visibly see a line. I do continuous rounds. What that means is I do not join. I just go right into the beginning of the round, okay? So we're gonna, before we move on, we are going to put a stitch marker, not in the second one, but the first one that we made, to mark the very beginning of our row. So that way we can kind of keep track of where we are and keep track of our stitch count. So next stitch, we're going to add another 2. At the end of this row, we should have a total of 12 single crochet. Okay. And again. And again. Now we're going to remove that stitch marker, count how many stitches we have on there. Remember, try to look for the V's. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Perfect. do a single crochet in the first one. Okay, and for this next round, we are only going to be doing an increase every other stitch. So the pattern will look like 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet. And we should have a total of 18 stitches by the end of this round. So we did our 1, we will move on and do our 2. Okay, so we did, and now we're gonna put our stitch marker in that 3rd stitch because that was the very beginning stitch. So let's finish that pattern throughout this round. So 1, now 2 single crochet, and continue on. Double checking our stitch count. Don't forget the stitch underneath the marker. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. All right, perfect. Now for the next 160 to 200 rounds, that is how many rounds we will be doing to get that long effect of the hair curler. I know that doesn't make any sense. Well, when I bought this velvet yarn and I did it in a green, I did a green color, and for some reason they didn't end up being the same size. And I even used a smaller crochet hook on the green, and it ended up being less rounds. I think maybe it was just a thicker velvet yarn or whatever. So your end result should be 40 inches. If you have a measuring tape, use it. Now we're gonna grab our fluff and stuff, our fluffity fluff. Okay, I'm just gonna take a little bit. You'd see just really, honestly, the tiniest of pieces. And then I'm just gonna stuff what I can. Just kind of stuffing around the edges, you know, kind of just pushing it down. You can see it's still fluffy. Don't want to do too much because then it will get really hard and it would be kind of uncomfortable to sleep on if it's too hard. You would still want it to be firm but soft. Okay, firm but soft. All right, that's even a thing. Okay, it's all squishy. I want to make me a pillow out of this velvety shiznits. Maybe we'll do a pillow one of these days. Because, yes, please. Okay. Just still stuffing. Okay, and then you kind of want to stop because if you stuff too much while you're still crocheting, it can kind of get all entangled. Actually, I'm going to take just a little bit out because it will get just like tangled up in your crochet and it'll be sticking out. It'll be, yeah, just will be kind of a mess. So I feel like that's good. Actually, even a little bit more. That's good. See, that's good. Then when we get going a little bit more, then you'll stuff a little bit more. To decrease, you will be inserting your hook in the front loops of 2 stitches and yarn over and pull that yarn through those 2 loops and then single crochet like you regularly would. For this round, we will decrease, single crochet, decrease, single crochet, all the way around until you end up with 12 stitches. For round 205, we will be decreasing all the way around. and you will end up with 6 stitches by the end of it. But before you finish this round, I suggest you stuff the curler as much as you possibly can, so that way it is completely stuffed by the time we close it. Now we are going to fasten off by doing a slip stitch in the next stitch and chaining 1. And then you are going to cut your yarn and then pull that yarn all the way through. Now we are going to insert our yarn into our darning needle, and we are going to close the curler by inserting our needle in the front loop of every stitch around. Now pull your yarn to close that hole tight, and we will now take a loop from the top of the curler and make a knot. Now we are going to be sewing in our ends. I simply just take my needle and I send it through my project. You could do this however you feel comfortable or however you were taught. Cut the excess yarn and you are finished with your curler. Now we are moving on to the scrunchies. Take one of your hair ties, the end of your yarn, and your crochet hook. We are going to start by inserting our crochet hook underneath the hair tie, like so. We're gonna hold the yarn in between our thumb and our 4th finger again, wrap your crochet hook around that yarn over basically, and you should have a little, looking like a little loop here, and you're going to yarn over again and pull it through that loop. Okay, and then I like to hold this in place so that I could crochet over it and it will stay secure. So we're going to do 2 chains. Okay, so a chain is just essentially yarning over and pulling through the loop. So do 2 of those. We are going to be working with double crochet. To double crochet, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the hair tie, yarn over again, pull that through the hair tie. You should have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2, then yarn over and pull through the second 2, just like that. Okay, so let's do that again. Yarn over, insert through the hair tie, yarn over, pull through the hair tie. You should have 3 loops. Yarn over and insert through the first 2 loops, and yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. Just gonna scrunch up in some spots, just gotta move them along. And now we are going to slip stitch into the beginning to actually join these rounds. So just do that. Now chain 3, single crochet into the first stitch, chain 3, single crochet into the next stitch, all the way around. Continue this pattern all the way around. Okay, so we're about to make our last single crochet, but instead of the single crochet, we're going to take that first loop, pull it through the second. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through, and we are going to cut our yarn and take your hook and do that. Pull that yarn all the way through and tighten. And now we are fastened off. Sew in your ends. End result, might have fluffies everywhere. Boop.
high.